retracing the footsteps of Australia's most famous explorers and finally completing their journey to the sea. We're going to attempt what Burke and Wills could not, but the challenge will be similar. Every kilometre will be a battle. It's going to be tough, but it's a journey that we all want to do.
G'day, my name's Jamie Hazelden and I've been travelling this great country for many years. And what I want to share with you is the great places that I've been to and the places that you can only imagine of getting to. I want to show you and introduce to you some of the colourful characters, sit round a campfire and reminisce and talk about the journey and the places that we're going to go to. So come along with me as I share this journey with you.
Proudly supported by and powered by Custom Lithium.
Well, that's tree 14. Well, we are at Camp 119. Now, this is the final camp that Burke and Wills actually got to up in the Gulf. They didn't get to the water where they were planning to get to, but they got to here. And if you walk around this place, you can see a lot of the scars or blazes in the trees of where they've marked them out. Or if there's not, there's a concrete monument there to check out. It's always interesting about history, how much there is about it, what's true and what's not. But you know, the four guys, they got up this far, and that was Burke and Wills, King and Gray. Now, you look around this place and there is stuff scattered everywhere, but one thing that was found later on in time, into the 1900s, from one of the station owners, was some of Burke's gear, and that was tucked away in the side of an embankment here in a camp oven. And the reason they found it, they think, is because the cattle have been going down to get water and exposed it here on the camp. So that was pretty interesting. I mean, I'd love to see what they actually did find.
Back in February 1861, this was as far north as they made it. After 57 days on the track from Cooper's Creek, Burke, Wills, King and Gray stood right here, just kilometres from the Gulf of Carpentaria. They blazed 15 trees to make their camp, and then Burke and Wills tried to push on further north.
You know, an interesting fact is when Burke and Wills got up here, that was in the middle of the wet season, so there was water all through here. We're here now at the end of the dry season, so it's soon gonna be the wet season up here. But another fact was that all the way through this whole area, you had Jardine, you had Leichhardt, you had Walker, and they've all zigzagged across each other's pathways somewhere in that journey of getting up here. Well, we're leaving now, Camp 119. I'm going to tell you a lot more about the story of what happened with Burke and Wills around the area here and also on the way back down. Well, we've got a few more Ks to get under the belt before we get camped tonight, but looks like a bit of a storm might be coming in. Might be a bit wet.
Their story ended in tragedy. But today, more than 160 years later, we're here to pick it up where they left off. From this very spot, Camp 119, we're going to attempt what Burke and Wills could not. To fight through the thick bushland, to the long salt pans and creeks, to crossing the country. It's tough, and hopefully we'll reach the water of the Gulf of Carpentaria, retracing the footsteps of Australia's most famous explorers and finally completing their journey to the sea.
So we finished at 119 at the Burke and Wills tree where the blaze was, and then we got to sitting around the campfire last night and we were talking to a couple of the ringers here, and they got so excited about what we were doing next that they said, we've got to come along because we're going to head out and try and get to the ocean there, just like Burke and Wills attempted to. So are you guys ready or what?
Definitely, mate. We haven't had much time to plan this as we were sitting around the fire last night discussing it. We said we'd come for the adventure, but I think we'll have enough gear, mate, and we should have some fun, eh?
I reckon it's going to be super exciting. What about you?
And we've got Zhang here to help if we get stuck.
All right, hey, well.
See how we go.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll be right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good adventure.
Well,
like I say, I'd already, as a kid growing up, like listening about Burke and Wills and stuff, for doing school, school projects and stuff like that on Burke and Wills. So now it's sort of.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's so good. Well, let's get in these vehicles and start making it happen.
Beautiful, mate. Let's go.
Now, you're going to be all right in this, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I know.
It'd be hard.
It's going to be a bit hard coming from a Land Cruiser, but anyway, you'll be right.
You take care of it.
Yeah, I'll take care of it, mate.
So, Zanga's taken the old Andy because he's got to take Billy's boat. Now, Billy decides that he wants to take the buggy, so he's got it on the back of his. So, it's a vehicle for each person, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, I've got to say this adventure is going to be quite interesting now. Having Zanga along and Billy, I reckon, will be a lot of fun. We've sat around the campfire, we've had a good yarn. These guys have always wanted to go up to the coast, but of course it's going to be challenging, and we don't know how challenging it's going to be. But hence, we'll go as far as we can with the truck and Landy, and then from there we will move to the buggy, and we can put the boat on the back of the buggy and continue on there. And then when we can't go that far with the buggy, well, then we'll put the boat in the river wherever we can to get up to the top.
Back then, camels carried their load and compass bearings set their path. For us, it's trucks, buggies and a tinny, and using a GPS to set our tracks. But the country hasn't changed. It's still rough, hot and unforgiving. The same land that tested them is about to test us.
You fellas got a copy?
Yeah, copy, mate.
I think we should drop some air out of some of these tyres. I think it's getting a bit rough and rugged in here for this dry ground.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think that'll be a good idea. Stop everything shaking around and make it a bit smoother on, eh? Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, I think we'll just pull up here, eh? It's a nice flat area here, so yeah, good spot to do it, eh?
Burke and Wills pushed through this country in the middle of summer. Their camels collapsed and the swamps swallowed their progress. For us, I'm sure we will face the same conditions. Instead of hooves, it's wheels. But the challenge will be similar. Every kilometre will be a battle, that's for sure.
Well, we've got to get a bit of air out of these tyres. The ground's so hard, and because the cattle's been through here, when it was muddy, it's just making it really, really bumpy. Like the tyres are already down, but we're going to take them down further. So I think we'll take them down to about 25 now and see how that sits with it. Because we're not in boggy ground, we're just in an area that's just rough. So it'll make the suspension not work so hard as well by blowing those tyres out. So Burke and Wills, they've tried to blaze their way through here. Now they were here in the wet season, so you can only imagine that this is all just wet ground. They're sinking down in it, it's boggy, it would have been mozzie infested, it would have been horrible to try and get through here. But we're doing it now in the dry, and hopefully we can get a bit further than they did. So lowering the tyre pressures is a crucial part for us to get through here, because just sponging out that tyre will make that suspension work so much less and not get it so hot, and the tyres won't run as hot. I see you're running the all-terrain Geolanders.
Yeah, mate, they're unreal, eh? Just about due for another set, and I'm going to go the exact same tyres, eh? I love them, and they've served their purpose well and truly. So
yeah, okay, because
yeah.
I'm running the muddies. So far, so good. I mean, what I like is they got a good bite on the sides.
Yep.
And so far, they're not too noisy on the road.
Yep.
I imagine these are quiet on the road.
Well, they are, mate. Yeah, but you know that's the only reason I didn't go mud terrain tyres, just for the road noise. But yeah, if you say they pretty good on the road.
So far, so good. I mean,
some of them, yeah, they're noisy as, aren't they?
Well, that one's only got 12,000 Ks on them tyres now.
Oh, right, yep.
So,
yeah, nice.
But so far, so good.
Yeah. No, mate, I can't complain. I've never put a big hole in any of them, and you know, driving around the bush all the time. So that's all you can ask for, eh?
Well, you do plenty of that.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving on.
Good.
Burke and Wills weren't just chasing a coastline, they were chasing a dream. Backed by the Royal Society and fuelled by public funding of £15,000. Their mission was to open up the unknown centre of Australia and prove it could be crossed from south to north. Reaching the Gulf of Carpentaria meant success, prestige, and a place in history. It was the final milestone in an expedition designed to link the continent from one ocean to the other. A challenge no one had ever achieved.
So yeah, mate, this is Duck Hole that we're coming up to now. So this is pretty much as far as the roads go north on the station, and then we're on our own from there.
And is this where those them posts that someone was saying about that had to be walked out or something?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's correct. So you can imagine back in the day when everything was done on horseback and everything like that, and any timber to be brought out here was all carried. Yeah.
Well, they are some old posts. They've weathered in pretty well, that's for sure.
Definitely, mate. It's good timber, good hard timber, isn't it? You know, to last that long.
Yeah, and then they see the what they call the joggle. So your timber goes in there, and then cob and co around it, and they stay pretty good. Like, you know, obviously you got to tighten them every now and then, but yeah, they work pretty well. The old cob and co.
Wow. And so, you know, you think about that, getting out here, how remote this is, and distance-wise, horseback or cart or whatever they did, without vehicles.
Oh, take my hat off to them, mate.
Well, you got to.
Yeah, and you know, digging it, they would have dug them all by hand, and
crowbar and a shovel. That's all they got.
Yeah.
And this fence line goes down through here, and what, we're following more tracks down here?
Yeah, so these posts, this is sort of a fence line to cut off the coast, really, basically. So, and then you just go through, and that's basically the end of the tracks.
End of the tracks.
Yeah.
End of the tracks and start of the salt pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So once we go through that fence here, up here.
Yep.
That's sort of we're on our own.
Right. And this is Duck Hole.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. Like, I nearly got to that creek, but that's as far as I could get.
Yeah.
Because I had to cross the creek
Yep.
without venturing. I'd say we'd got to head north or west, you know.
Well,
So,
let's get in these vehicles and do that.
Northbound Gulf Carpentaria, here we come.
yeah.
At this point, beyond the fence line, we're completely on our own. Once we start crossing these salt pans, there's no chance of anyone coming to recover us. We have to rely on the vehicles and the recovery gear we're carrying, and that's it. From here on, this adventure has truly stepped up.
Well, we've come up to our first little hurdle, and it's a bit of dampness. And of course, when it's damp on a salt flat, what happens?
Well, you go down, mate, and there's no bottom to it. Especially in, you know,
You're bogged.
Yeah.
big truck like that. But yeah, but I don't think it's the end of it. Definitely, we just have to keep moving around.
I think we're just got to find, get onto a ridge somewhere and follow the ridge and keep sort of progressing forward. And we might be going 2 steps back, but we go 1 step forward, we're still making progress. So.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about,
Yeah.
just doing that.
No, we'll stick to the plan that we come up with and just follow that ridge around and if you have to put the buggies down and
Do that.
go for a look. And
Well, we'll finish our coffees under these shady trees we've got round us.
that's right. Yeah. There's not much out
then-
here, mate, at all.
Keep on going.
Yeah.
Not many people would even attempt to cross a salt pan unless there were clear tracks ahead of them. And for good reason. We're taking it very cautiously, because if we go in too fast and hit the soft patch, that momentum can carry a vehicle deep into the mud before you can even react. And this is a perfect example. Sanger has just hit the soft patch, but managed to stop just in time. I jumped in to get the old girl out before she sank any deeper. A few careful runs backwards and forwards. This technique helps in two ways. It compacts the clay and gives you a firmer base to drive on, while also clearing the mud that builds up in the tread. And the landy was out.
So it went down pretty quick because it's that crust just on top. It's salted pretty well underneath, but it's that greasy part. So it's the salt on here and then it's just like a slippery mud. So you just go straight down. Now the challenge is we need to get over that way, but this area here is really soft because of that layer, and then that's starting to get a bit more firm up there. But by reversing back, it could give me the hardness underneath, so I could just go forward a bit more, and then a couple of turns and we were out. So we were lucky this time. We'll see what happens next time.
Burke and Wills and their crew faced a mammoth task crossing these salt pans in the wet. The mud was relentless, swallowing their camels' feet and turning every step into a struggle. Progress was painfully slow, exhausting both men and animals, and every metre felt like a battle against the land itself. You could only imagine what it would have been like.
You might want to put that right foot down a bit, mate. It seems to be getting very wet in here. I'm definitely flicking up some mud.
Yeah, I can feel it. I'm starting to bog down. Hopefully John's all right back there.
What have you done to yourself here?
Breaks through real easy. Too skinny tyres.
Yeah, right.
Or just play on through it.
Well, what maybe I give you just a winch out of here, and then we see how we go. Maybe check them tyre pressures on the trailer, see how they are, and see how far we get. Because there's just up there is another soft patch, and that's pretty soft.
Yeah.
Give it a whirl.
I'll hit it flat out.
Sounds good.
Jono's sitting on the trailer. Hang on.
Sounds good.
Watch it whip around.
Righto. Well, he's just broken the service. This is a 20,000 pound winch, so it shouldn't have any issues just pulling him out that little bit just to get him on this harder bit of ground, and then we can keep on moving.
And just like Burke and Wills would have experienced, we're not making great progress across the salt pans. With two vehicles bogged in the last kilometre, I can't help but worry. Will we be forced to turn back, just like the expedition out here? We'll just have to see how we travel.
Well, we're going to keep it simple. I'm just going to do a single line pull. All I'm going to do is hook up on a D-shackle he's got there, and I'll just winch him out. He'll probably have his motor running. He may turn the wheels a little bit. We'll just see what happens. But 20,000 pound, no problem. Yep, straight at that. Back to the right, back to the right.
Though this was a small winch and John wasn't too deep, having controlled wheel speed is key. It's an important lesson when winching. If your wheels spin faster than your forward movement, you'll just dig yourself deeper and under the crust.
Very good. All right, hang on there a sec. Hang on, hang on.
And this principle applies across all conditions, whether it's in sand, wet mud, or loose rocks. Out here, having the right tools for the job can turn a bogging nightmare into a quick recovery, getting you back on the track and back to enjoying the adventure ahead. Back in the trucks, it's time to make up some time. And if we want to hit the coast and wet a line by this afternoon, here was our first long salt pan crossing. And to be On the safe side, we went one vehicle at a time. That way, if one got stuck, we could send another out to recover it, rather than risking all 4 vehicles going down at the same time. Out here, it's always best to play it safe. Our method is simple. We island hop our way north, tackling small sections rather than trying to cut straight across the larger, unpredictable salt pan. You know, when you just look around this area, you can just see how vast and remote we are. There's just nothing for kilometres and kilometres. And your tree lines, you can see them in a distance, but they're only small shrubs. There's nothing that we can actually utilise or use should we get stuck. These pans change from 1 minute to the next. We've got to stay sharp, always watching not just where we're going, but the tracks left by the vehicles ahead. As you can see, Billy's spotted sanger was starting to sink. Being closer to the edge of the island, he was able to pull up onto the grass. Unfortunately, I wasn't so lucky. I didn't make it up onto the hard ground like Billy and Sanger did. Out here, it just goes to show there's no right line. And for Sanger, leading the convoy, it's pure pot luck, whether he's on the right path or heading straight into a soft patch. You got to give it to the guy. He's doing a great job. By late afternoon, after 3 recoveries during the day, the crew and I were looking forward to reaching a camp near the coast. But the country had other plans. Everyone pitched in and did what was needed.
This is where I went down, and what we've done is we've hooked up, because I've got no recovery points on the back of the trailer, so we're using the leaf hangers. So I've got Sanger down there in the landy because we've got the trailer off it, and he's going to just give it a snig back. We've got it sitting on a max track at the front, just so we can just slowly drag it out of here. And then that way we can get John to come in with the canter. I'll hook up the 20,000 pound winch off the back of that, and hopefully we can snig it backwards, because we can't pull it forwards because the diffs have gone down. It's buried pretty deep there. So we'll assess that once we get this little trailer out of here. Righto, off you go, take her up.
Pulling from the leaf hangers isn't how you'd normally perform a recovery. But in this case, we're not doing a recovery, we're simply pulling the trailer backwards at a controlled speed. Using a bridle to even out the load also helps keep the process as safe as possible.
Oh, that's perfect, mate. You've done this before.
Couple of times, mate, eh?
Oh, I was thinking about the cows. That come out really well, eh?
Yeah, no, it worked out good, eh?
Yeah, I actually haven't pulled one out with the max tracks like that. I've always used like a bucket sort of thing and skidded it out, but that actually worked a treat.
Played pretty straight too, eh?
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
no, it was good.
I guess we try and get the big girl out
Yeah,
now.
now it's the fun, eh?
Well, that's it, eh? Now the fun starts.
Yeah.
My job's done anyway.
It's in pretty.
Now that the trailer's removed, we've cleared a line of sight to run the winch cable out to John's truck. It's always best to remove any mud or sand that might stop the max tracks from laying flat under the tyres.
So the way we're going to set this up is a double line pull. The challenging part of this is we're a long, long way away. So a lot longer than a winch extension or the winch rope itself. So what we've had to do, because we're talking trucks here, not cars and four-wheel drives, so it's a lot heavier on all the gear. And because the sand bogs us down really deep, really quickly, what we've done is we've got max tracks under here, we've dug it out, put the max tracks under, but the cameraman we have, he came up with a great idea where he told us about, in the Simpson Desert, what they done was they put the winching vehicle, which is the other vehicle down there, onto a set of max tracks. So it locked it in place so it didn't move and didn't sink down any lower. So hopefully that's going to grip it, hold it, and I'm actually going to try and pull with my winch backwards because the winch on that truck isn't quite big enough or strong enough. So we'll just see how we go and see if we can go bit by bit, take our time. We've got winch blankets on each join just in case, because we're talking a fair old stretch. So we'll just see how we go with it. So in actual fact, what we've got to do is use a mixture here of carbon winch recovery gear and max tracks recovery gear, because we use the max tracks on the vehicles, as in the cars, and we're using the carbon on the trucks because it's a lot bigger, heavier duty. Because I mean, these straps here, they work on 40 ton. Crazy, but it's big stuff. All right, let's make it happen.
We were all keen to get the canter out and find a safe, dry spot to call camp for the night.
But yeah, you're right to go, eh?
Winching.
Roger, mate. You're just starting to take good weight now.
Yeah, hold up there. You want to take your winch up again?
Having placed Max Tracks under the wheels, this gave me a lot of traction to be able to drive. Once I came off the Max Tracks, the truck would just sink in the mud. Having to rely more on the winch and control the wheel speed.
Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Once I was out of the deep pit, John was able to slowly drive forward, pulling me onto hard ground.
Righto, thank you very much. Well, that's a bit of a trench and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, yeah, but we're out now, so trying to find camp, I think.
After packing up all the gear and loading the Landy and boat, we ducked around the corner to make camp for the night. I'm sure Burke and Wills' crew would have had days just like this, arriving at camp as the sun set. Luckily for us, these days we have the luxury of 12-volt power to keep our drinks cold.
Good, boys.
That night, as we sat around the fire, we talked about how much further we could take the vehicles and at what point we'd have to unload the buggies and make a run for the coast. The next day promised more challenges, more mud, and the final push north straight towards the Gulf. A once-in-a-lifetime momentum forged through grit, determination, and unforgiving land itself. Next episode, the salt pans get deeper, the challenges get tougher, and the push to the Gulf Coast reaches breaking point.